Okay, cool. Okay, so we're going to skip the check-in. We're also going to skip the smart milestone and checklist review. And, oh, I'm in the wrong one. I'm in the wrong. Yeah, governance circle meeting 3. Okay. So yeah, next week we're going to by next week I should have more of the infrastructure for governance for this governance circle done. So we'll start having smart milestones and checklists for team members and all that stuff and metrics. But right now we'll just jump into project updates. Clarifying questions are allowed, but no crosstalk. Okay. So migration campaign. That's me, Satya, and Jen. There's some bugs slowing us down, but we're going to get these all posted slowly. I actually got yours up, Kai, you and RJ, but no, everyone else, it's still, there was a battle to get those ones up. So now we'll have, we're actually going to have everybody submit their own milestones. So if you want to, right now, you can try to submit milestones to the DApp. And now that you know how to replace transactions, you're totally equipped to do that. So feel free to go to the DApp and make a really high quality milestone for yourself that encompasses the pay for 12/15 to 12/29 in the migration campaign.
And clarification. How do you know what you are working on and what we should submit?
Well, it's your milestone. So we'll replace that smart milestone form that we've been using. And the last 2 weeks, there were very few people that actually used the smart milestone form because Jen stopped bugging us to do it. So, and it was the holidays. So feel free to just, if you can go review the videos that you did, or if you can just, sit down and brainstorm what you did starting on the 15th to the 29th, make a little list, and you get paid the same. We don't start the new budget until the 30th.
Okay. Yep. Perfect.
Okay. And then we have Reward DAO, me. It started off slowly, but it's starting to work. I think the only person who hasn't submitted a thing is Arthur, but everyone else has actually started dishing out points. And Bone even got some points, I think. Let's see. And then Wall of Fame, Edu. I think we actually need to pass the Wall of Fame off to somebody. We need someone that likes to make front ends look pretty. So like a designer, a UX, UI guy. Just so that we can make that something we can show off. And then the Mu DAC, there is nothing really going on there. It's just on pause. The Giveth DAC, we're going to push campaigns on it pretty soon. It's just, buggy. And then
clarification again, sorry. Yeah. So I wait with the communication campaign, or do I do it? Okay, but I do it in the morning best.
Ideally, yes.
When I'm not up, but I'll try to get up in time.
Yeah. Okay. That's when it's cheapest for sure.
Okay.
Molly DAC, I'm gonna go with it's basically dead unless we need him, but there in the back. A status.am integration, maybe OJ, you could say a couple words about that.
Yeah, we're going to make a campaign about it. We had a meeting about it earlier and it's recorded. So once we have our governance stuff up there, then I see this as kind of being the first campaign from the mobile side, at least.
Perfect. Kai, you made a District OX campaign. What's the status? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Arthur, maybe. Okay, so then Alice.si, they actually, I'm supposed to review a couple of proposals for them. Proposals. Aragon integration, we met with Aragon. We're actually working on potentially doing the art DAC with this, and I should move that to also, that will be another role here. If anyone wants to help me with this, that would be really great because it's going to slow us down a little bit. So we're on early stages. So in Aragon, Arthur is trying to make sure that we can integrate their UI to our UI, and sounds like they're ready for doing some audits. So I'm hoping to get some people up here to do audits on their code, and I'm also looking at the Art DAC as being one of the first campaigns. The Art DAC is run by TrueBit. It's going to be a separate project, but they have a big bounty on getting the Doge ETH bridge that they want to roll into decentralized art. So they're in initial discussions about putting that on Giveth. There's the Burning Man camp, which is almost there. And we are really close, actually. Trelleth is interesting because I met somebody at this conference that sounded really interested in it. CCC guy. React Native Video Project. Oz, do you have anything on that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just what I updated earlier. So the idea is to make that a campaign as well, but that's even further down the line than other stuff.
Oh, what would you say further down the line means? Like how long?
So, I mean, really, to me, the goal is Paris. I'm just really focusing everything on that. But then after Paris, which is in March, then maybe it would be nice to start the React Native developers to start, March if it's possible. But if it looks too uncomfortable, then I don't want to force it. But yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's too bad I lost Jen. But the Hero DAC is she made some updates, and we actually have a channel. I think it's a public channel, Hero DAC. I think there might be an underscore here and an O. And then we have Riot Migration. So Hero DAC, I think Jen's going to start getting that going. So now Riot Migration, how's that going, Kai? Nice.
Yeah, and I sent some feedback in the Riot Migration channel for some things that I think that would be good. Yeah, definitely.
And then okay, I feel like that's good. And then Old School Chris?
Yeah, so I asked Bernd, I sent him all the details, also with the vault address and so on. So I'm waiting for him now to come back. He's going to send me a contract, and then I think we can get started with this.
So was that milestone thing going to be an issue or not?
Well, now I understood how you said it. I guess because it's all coming out of the vault, it's probably indeed going to be the same address, and I don't think there's going to be an issue. But we'll see it indeed when we do the first transaction.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's going to be one transaction hash on Etherscan or if it's going to be 2 transactions. That's yet to be seen. So,
okay.
And if it's 2 transactions, you might just have to give them both transactions, you know?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do it right now. What you got?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, pitch what? Yeah. Oh yeah, so that's a cool project to create a decentralized filmmaking effort that could be funded using our DApp and self-organized to create like multimedia content for the whole space actually.
Okay, there's definitely effort. There's definitely lots of people who want to do that. So
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Okay, now I'm sure I'm missing some projects here, but does anyone else have any other ones that they're thinking of? Cool. So it. Oh, Army of Love. Okay, let's add it in. Well, I like that.
Yeah, no, I can vouch for Kai's enthusiasm and how definitely Griff would be able to hang.
Nice. Okay. Well, I know that Chris has an issue. So now, if there's any governance issues that we need to hash out, let's do it.
Yes, I have some. So I have the points I have. Do I just say the agenda points, or do we just dive in?
Agenda issues first.
Yeah. So I have DAO withdraw. Then I have milestone setup for payments, dishing out points, and WHG.
WHG. Okay. Are there any other governance issues that we want to talk about? Okay. If not, then let's go with milestone setup because that is the most applicable to everybody.
Yep. So for that one, the thing, it was discussed a little bit in the product meeting, and I don't know if you were there from the beginning, Griff. I don't think so. But it was an interesting discussion on like how should we do this? So now will we just do like a weekly milestone for every payment? Because I feel for the larger teams that it's going to become like kind of a mess. So you can edit milestones, and then you can add, because it's also at the end of the week that you will write down all the things that you have done. So you cannot do this in the beginning of the week. And okay, that's fine, but how do you do it then? Every week you create a new milestone, or how do you see this? And also, that's my first question about this. And the second question about this, about the milestones, is like, so it will take time for everyone, extra time to create these, to set it up, to calculate the right costs and so on. I don't know yet how much, but I was just wondering what you thought about it. So, if this is something we do ourselves, all of us, or someone per team should do that.
Yeah. So no, we definitely all need to be responsible for doing it ourselves and in control of our own thing. There needs to be extreme clarity and transparency with how the math works out. So the math should just be done in the milestone, along with the smart milestones kind of thing. So as far as how will it work, honestly, I haven't seen how the DApp will do it. It would be nice if we could have one milestone that paid out in sections. And I know the smart contract could handle that, but currently I don't believe the UI can. So I'm pretty sure we have to make a new milestone every week. Or if you're slow, you could do it every 2 weeks. But honestly, I would prefer every week just because then people see progress. But the other thing is, if you want to only get paid once a month, it's up to each circle to kind of figure it out. In my opinion, all of this is a big experiment, and I want to see each circle do something differently, as opposed to everybody do it the same.
Okay.
Did you get what you need?
Yeah, I think it's like we're gonna try it and learn it.
Yeah.
Fine with me. Yeah.
Trial by fire. Yep. Okay. White Hat Group. What do you need?
I just need an answer if there's anything that we need to do. I saw somewhere online that there is a deadline for the 10th of January where everything will be locked and that there is still 36 million of ETC in there. Is there anything we need to do or communicate on this?
We are not going to communicate anything. The White Hat Group is choosing to not communicate anything, but we have, and I would prefer that just to never be communicated at all or addressed. So if anyone asks, just let it be blank. But it has already been extended for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So it's not on the 10th of January as it says here.
It was, and it was extended on the ETC blockchain, which there's no Etherscan to see internal transactions on the ETC blockchain. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hidden, but the fact is it's extended. It's been extended. I believe, Jordy, is it till January 10th, 2020?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't. It's okay. But yeah, just so you know, and so everyone knows, internally it is taken care of, but it's not. It's
communicated.
Yeah, the White Hat Group actually is the opposite of Giveth on this one. We preferred to not be transparent.
Okay, good.
Okay, and DAO withdraw. What you need?
Sorry, I mixed them up, but they're connected. So that was the withdraw question, in fact. And with the White Hat Group, I just wanted to ask, what do we do with money in general that is sent to the White Hat Group? Because it said somewhere earlier, you said that the White Hat, or I read that the White Hat Group doesn't accept donations. But what do we do with those donations?
No, the White Hat Group does accept donations. During the Parity multisig, we didn't accept donations until after we finished the job, for various reasons. But the big one being there were so many scam addresses, and we just didn't want people to donate to. We couldn't be bothered to control the media and create a single source of information. So we just chose not to accept donations until after the job was done.
Okay, that makes sense. No, the reason I'm asking is because of what's his name, Brandon Eichner, who said that he donated to Giveth, and you said he donated to the White Hat Group.
Yeah, he made a mistake when he said Giveth. He
actually meant to give to the White Hat Group. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We saved like $40 million. At least it was 40 million of his dollars at that time.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, yeah, but half of that will go into a Giveth campaign. Right now, the White Hats have about well over $500,000 that we expect to in fact, this should be a project. But we expect to actually add a DAC eventually, and we even have a preliminary project, which would be creating an open source blockchain explorer.
Okay, cool.
And then what was the last one?
Dishing out points.
Okay, what do you need?
Just some clarity here. So 2 points. First, so if to understand how it works when we dish out points. So imagine if I dish out points, like I give like 3,000 points in total, and you give like 100 in total. So are all brought to the same total number before we then per circle give influence points? Because that's what I didn't understand. Because you say, hey, I give 100, I give that, and if you see what I mean with that?
Yeah. So I can whip out the reward spreadsheet really quick. I'll just do this. So here we have the results. And this is really cool because it like aggregates all the points per person and per circle, right? So that's kind of cool. And why? Actually, it's not working. But because we have com points here, but they're not being added.
Yeah, I already changed it a little bit in the sense. First, this didn't work either, but it was because you wrote coms and com, and now I picked it up, so it must be somewhere in the formula still.
Oh, I see. It's because it's starting at 8. No, it should start at 8. See, Grace. It's not picking up comms. Oh, there it is. It's a gap. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
I have to duck out. I will talk to you all soon.
See you, Vaughn.
See ya.
Okay. And this is expecting COMS. So I'll just change that here. But basically, it will actually aggregate the points and do it individually for each. Like what we'll do is we'll vote on here on how much we think each team should get, right? And then each point, and so then let's say that each team gets exactly 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Coms gets 1,000, CCC or S. This is now going to be SC gets 1,000. DApp, everybody gets 1,000, and then but there's different number of points. So like, you know, Quasi has 1 point here. Or whoever got this 1 point would get 1,000, and each SC point would be worth 1,000. Whereas here, each point would be worth 20, and here each point would be worth less, right? So it's like each circle gets allocated a certain amount, and then the points are dished out equally within the circle. But the points between the circles don't mean anything. They don't correlate.
That was my big question indeed. If that gets equalized, then it's fine. Yeah.
Yep.
Because okay. No, that was question 1, just to be sure. And then, so imagine you give points to 4 people that I agree with and 3 people that I do not agree with, that you gave that many points to them. But I only vote on influence of your circle. So then I will create a disadvantage for some of the people that I truly believe that they deserve this amount, right?
Yep. If you really feel that way, you can always give them points.
Give them points myself.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good point.
Yep. No worries. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like I think I gave a bunch of points to Oz and Ellen and Alex today, and honestly, those points are probably that's not how many points I gave them though. Those points are probably really should be coming from the DApp team in a way, or even social coding or something. But I decided to give them some points. So
Yeah. Okay. I know that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, then I have no more questions.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else from anybody?
Can I make a suggestion? We were talking today about like the quality of our mock-up content. So what if we created some sort of prototype DAX, some model DAX, with like broad scopes that act like catalyzers or something like that for creating communities around a certain themes, right? So we create one for the environment, we create one for like eradicating extreme poverty, one for Alzheimer's, or whatever the causes we can think of, maybe 5 or 10, and we kind of each one take lead in managing these communities, and we pledge maybe $1,000 to each one to get started, and we start trying to attract people to join these communities and create projects and milestones for this. Do you think it's too early for this?
So, number one, absolutely. This is way too early. We can't do anything like that for at least a month because we can't even get milestones up appropriately. It's been the bane of my existence the last 4 days to try to get milestones to work. I haven't been giving it like my full focused attention, and then finally when I do, there's a reason why it wasn't easy. So there's lots of bugs, and I think we also, and I'll talk about this more tomorrow, but we also have to have a reality check and realize that there are so many issues with normal people using Ethereum that it doesn't really make sense to do anything like general, like environmental, because when you go all the way from the beginning to end, you have a lot of general issues with this technology. We have the fees. Just to do a multi-sig transaction is costing $3. And then so it will be embarrassing for Giveth if we actually try to do this with this, and then we're wasting money and paying the miners to run the Ethereum network. Then we also have key management and support. So, like, how do we help people on MetaMask? Like, I mean, I just spent an hour showing everybody how to do the multi-sig, and we saw how hard that was. And we're the people that are building it. So if you want to take a bunch of hippies that want to make the world a better place and don't really like computers that much, and then try to get them to figure out how to, get a hardware wallet and store their keys properly, that's a whole nother. That's a very different set.
Yeah, I guess it's something we'll do the moment that we have launched publicly and that we have someone who, when we have the FAQs, when we have someone who'll do the onboarding, when everything works indeed.
I was thinking we could kind of role play just between us for a while without really bringing in more people. That's not the case so much, but
I would really like to role play in projects that are real, like our own, like Giveth, right? Yeah. The first product that we will roll out, that Jen is willing to lead, that's more along these lines, or at least on my side, is the Hero DAC, which I think it's not a topical one like environmental. It's extremely broad, as in anyone can say, hey, I want to help the world in this way, and send me some Ether, right? Mm-hmm. And what's nice with that is, number one, Jen knows how to deal with Ether. She knows the app. She knows how to do a lot of this stuff. And you can go out and do good things for the world in a small scale as a prototype. But I'll be honest, man, I see us either needing to switch chains or just focus on doing Ethereum, being like an Ethereum focused thing, because the only people who are willing to pay, $50 when it's all said and done to get these milestones out are Ethereum people that are supporting large scale projects like building a new Etherscan, an open source Etherscan, or supporting sharding, stuff like that. And I think that's like a good place to cut our teeth, because it cuts out a lot of stuff. It cuts out a lot of the biggest issue is support. How do we support people? That's like the biggest issue throughout this space right now is just answering emails and support and taking on these customers. And we're not ready for that in any way. And we also I don't think it's in our best interest to do that until we've fleshed out a lot of other things.
Yep. Agree.
At least this is the strategy in January, and we'll see. Hopefully things improve drastically. We have some kind of scaling solution, tools like Cypher, Status, Toshi, make key management easy. People start to use Ether for lots of other things, and there's some kind of, if there's all these magical things happen, then we can talk. But right now, it's a sad state of affairs. I do think that there is potential to move to another chain where that solves some of the issues for us, but then we have political issues. So we'll talk about that more tomorrow.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Any other points? Okay, cool. So let's just do a quick review. Looks like the projects are going through pretty well. There's still a lot of work to be done on our DApp, so that's the priority. Milestone setup is kind of trial by fire. All the leads for the projects are just gonna have to figure it out and see how that goes. The ETC withdraw has been extended. The White Hat Group donations are handled internally, but will eventually be a DAC. And dishing out points, the points are all determined. Dishing out points, the points are all relative only within the circle, not relative to each other. And quality of mockup content. One thing I didn't say there is that I really hope that the quality of the content that we put up is really high within each milestone that we put there. And the nice thing is we can always edit and make it better, unlike the last app. So, but at the same time, trying to get real projects that will make the world a better place out, even in the next 6 months, is probably unlikely. So, cool. Let's check out. Thanks for staying with me, guys. I'm sorry that this is such a long meeting. I hope that I can do more governance meetings. Probably, I'm not planning on doing one next week, but probably after that, every week is my guess. And one last thing, if you want to come to Thailand, stay in after the closeout session, and let's talk about getting you to Thailand, or at least Barcelona. Thanks, guys. Alan.
Well, thank you all. Thank you, Griff. It was a nice class you gave us all here. So thank you for that. And Oz.
Hey guys. Yeah. Good one. Thanks. Nothing inspirational to leave with. I guess I do want to say that, I totally agree with Griff in terms of support. Like, we can't do any support, and I do think there's a huge opportunity for us to work with people for Giveth to do projects within the Giveth space. And I'm really excited about the Hero DAC. The Hero DAC is kind of being our way of staying in tune with the people, and maybe even like an Army of Love or some other things, kind of keeping it real. Cool. I guess I'll pass it on to Kai. You're just waving your head here. It goes to Kai.
Oh, you're muted, Kai. Kai, you're muted. Okay. Well, thanks, guys. So, who's coming to Thailand?
It's a very tempting offer.
Yeah.